What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. Here we are, another Friday night, and we are live. Let's see what we got going on here. I want to wish everybody, I hope everybody had a good day. Have a great weekend. But you know what time it is? It's Mr. Jimmy DiModica time, and he's been chomping at the bit. He's had almost 2 weeks vacation because of me. So I caught a lot of hell for taking a week off. So without further ado, you know what? Roscoe, what's happening? Chris Trock, what's a good word? Gianni, Davey T, Terry, how are you? Bobby Nine, what's happening? OG Ruby, Barbara, Terry. Michael, what's happening? Mikey Mom. Joey, and my man Davey. Without further ado, let's bring in the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. My man with the plan, 50 grand, Mr. Jimmy DiModica. What's happening, my brother? What's a good word, pal?
How are you, Craig? Did you enjoy your week off there?
Yeah, man. Things are getting good. Yeah. As you can see, the living room, we've added a couple of new pieces, the piano. We're doing good. God bless. Right?
Okay, yeah. It looks nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good, the designer you gave me, he did it. That's the guy who did it. The guy you gave me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he works feverishly. He works overnight.
Here we go, right away, right off the bat. Nikki, what's up, Nikki? Jimbo, what's the good word, man? What's the good word?
Well, I'm just again, I stick and move, bobbing and weaving, and just keep doing my thing every day. Just wait for that big break in the sky to come,
Yeah, everybody's due one. Joetown Jack. We're gonna go. We're gonna jump right into it. I got a bill last week. I didn't want to really bring this out in the open, but I got a bill, and Jimmy's overtime rates. I mean, we shouldn't be talking about this on the air. Remember, I announced that he signed a 3-year extension. Well, now that's all up in the air because I'm past 30 days past due with the bill, and we got a problem. So let's hope we can work it out. He showed up tonight, but he really was not. He was going to pull out tonight, but he's here for you guys, not for me. So without further ado, Jim, I want to thank you. Sorry for the bill being late. It's coming.
Oh, as far as pulling out, I never pull out.
Oh, so. That's it. All right. A bad choice of words. The check is in the mail.
Oh, okay.
All right, I don't want to say it. Yeah. No, it was just one of our people. Yeah, Nikki, I'm working on that. Pink Panther, how are you? Jimmy, I've been doing something, when I have time to think, my father used to say, oh boy, look out, it's going to get dangerous now. So I had some time to think.
They used to say that to me. They say when I'm thinking, I thought I smelled wood burning.
Jim, I'm going to go in an area tonight that I think is good. Surprised me. I really don't know the depth of it, but it surprised me when we discussed it a while ago. I think it's going to shock some people when they find. I can't wait to hear it. Can you possibly enlighten us or get into? I believe at one time you were involved. I'll use that word in one way or another with one of the top rappers of their time way back in the 80s, considering we just did a nice 80s show. Is there anybody comes to mind?
Well, what happened was, remember when that principal Joe Clark was on the cover of Time magazine? He was on the cover of Time magazine. He was a high school principal that cleaned up Patterson East Side in New Jersey, Patterson East Side High School, which was running rampant. They had graffiti inside on the walls and everything. And he was on the cover of Time magazine with a baseball bat in his hands, holding it across, across himself. He's holding the baseball bat. And he started getting all kind of publicity because he turned that school around and got them to start doing well. And the students wound up passing all the skills tests that they needed for the state of New Jersey. So in other words, so the state didn't take over at the school. Anyway, there was a kid that went to school there, and he went there, but he already left school a couple of years. But I wound up meeting his brother when I was in the labor union. This is just prior to me taking over the labor union. I was on a lot of the job sites, and I meet this kid. His name was Chuck Bennett, and his brother. He said, "My brother Todd." He says, "He's really up there." He said, "He's got albums already in the can, ready to go." And he said, "We need management and all that." I said, "Wait, hold on." I says, "Don't sign nothing." I said, "Don't sign nothing until you talk to me and my father." So at the time, me and my father, we went to Vesuvius Restaurant on Bloomfield Avenue in Newark, and we took him and his one of his main guys with him. We took them out to dinner, and anyway, we wound up striking the deal. When I had an option to get the kid back in favor with Russell Simmons, who owned Profile Records, which was real big. And you see, the kid, well, his name at the time, it wasn't Todd Bennett, it was King's son. King's son had a big name. If you look it up, you'll see back on Google, he had the one big song that was called "It's a Heat Up." And then on the club tip, he made a couple of the last album that he would have had would have went through the roof. It would have went through the roof. But here's what happened. Here, let me get to the sad part.
Oh boy.
Me and Dad had this kid. This kid was gone because we were going to put him with Norby Walters again. Norby Walters already had Eric B. and Rakim at the time.
Oh, I thought.
But Fourth and Broadway.
Norby Walters had Eric B. and Rakim?
Yes.
Oh, I thought
especially when they had.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When they had the Paid in Full, album, that was a big album. That was a breakout song. And you'll even hear them say it on the record. They says, "Who we rolling with?" They're talking to each other on the record. He goes, "We got Fourth and Broadway. We're rolling with Norby Walters." They actually pay homage to him on the actual record itself. So, but Norby, we were trying to get Norby to also grab King's son. Now, King's son, like I said, this kid was really talented. So again, let me get to the sad part. I I had a couple of contracts ready for him to look over and possibly execute and sign on, right? So one of them was, and the kid, well, because King Son said it, because well, he said, this is nice that we go to dinner and all, but if I can get a 250,000 down to sign, I said a house 350,000. So I added another 100,000 on there. We have everything ready to go, lawyers and everything. Here's what happens. He winds up going up to Russell Simmons' office, the kid. He wanted to have residuals on his first album. His first album was called XL, Extra Large. Right. You'll look it up and you'll see. Again, his songs were...
I know who King Son was. That's my era. Yeah,
you remember? Okay.
I think he was from Jamaica, Queens. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, he would live there and hang there, but he originally came from Patterson East Side High School in Patterson, New Jersey.
All those guys, yep.
Yeah. So what happened was he was being impatient with his residuals on the old deal that he had, because we were making a new deal for him. So what he does is he goes up to Russell Simmons' office and he went up there. I don't know how he was feeling, or if he was feeling good or not, but he wound up trashing the office, and Russell drops him. He drops him right on Profile Records, and that was it. That was the end of that, because now we had no distribution should the records be made. But I'm telling you, his last album would have went triple. It would have went 10 times platinum. This kid was a talent, and he wrote his own material. Very, very good kid.
Yeah,
and if we stayed in that, we would have been riding that wave with him, because we would have been in the background. But of course, we would have been taken care of very well through Norby and everything.
Absolutely.
So that's a little bit of the story that I had to tell you about how I was involved at the height of the rap. This was like classic rap, when it was really at the height of its popularity, and it kept growing at this point. I think the following year is where Young MC finally won the first Grammy I think it was for Bust a Move, the song. I think he won his first Grammy Award.
Wow, so you're shocking me right now. I love it. Go ahead. I'm shocked. Go ahead. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Move, Young MC.
And whatever I can, we had, like I said, with through Norby, I think I got the first house paid for because of them. I have to really owe it to them that they really helped me out. But I don't think they even knew that they were responsible for making me do very well on the Paid in Full album. We all were happy with that.
Yeah, it just really gives it really lets the people know that, for the ones that might come across it, that really don't understand the depth of what we had our hands in. You obviously a lot more than me, as far as, but being part of the life, you saw it at a whole different level. But what I'm saying is, it lets people know, everybody knows about the unions and controlling, port to port. That's the country. Not everybody, and not everybody knows the heavy influence in the movie and the music industry behind the scenes. Forget about the boxing. I mean, the boys' hands were in everything, and this just really, that's why this is good, because it lets people know rap. They're looking at you and saying, rap, Jimmy D, rap, and it drops a bomb. They didn't know guys had their hooks, and guys, honestly,
right?
Yeah, it's deep. And you're naming rappers that. I'm a young kid. We went over it the other night, and in the 80s, I'm 13, 14, 15, in the early, and hip hop is banging. And I'm from Queens, and you got Run DMC, LL Cool J, and you got Eric Rakim. They're all Queens guys. You got Nas, they're all from Queens. And those were the Run DMC. Those guys were the early days, and Russell had them all. So when you said King Son,
Right.
I knew it, but it's more about the hooks in everybody and everything. There was nothing. If there was $1 to be made, you guys figured out a way. How can we get our hooks in? Am I right or wrong on that?
Of course. Whenever there's an opportunity, and when somebody knocks on the door, you better answer it and know how to fulfill. Even if I didn't know nothing, and he said, "Hey, can you help my brother?" Like the kid asked me, "Can I help my brother get a good contract?" Because he knows he had that allure about me because I was involved with the union at the time. This is before I even ran the union. So with that allure. Even if I didn't have any juice, part of the pun, even if I didn't have any, I would have just told him, yeah, I do. I can get it done. Even if I couldn't get it done, I would have said that. And then I would have found a way to get it done. That's what you do.
Exactly.
That's what a winner does. That's what a winner does.
Absolutely.
You don't sit back. You don't sit back with your friends and say, yeah, the music business, it's a tough racket, boy. And I'll tell you, you sit around in a bar and you just start telling old war stories of things that you missed out on. No. I been there, done that, did this, did that. That's the way you got to operate.
Absolutely. Well, let me just welcome somebody in. Nick Romano, thank you for coming in. I find your stuff hysterical, brother. I have commented a few times. There's no nonsense in this chat. So and there ain't no drama here, brother. So you picked the right place. So whatever answer you just answered, that's a beautiful answer. Roscoe, no drama here. You know that, brother. Nobody, let's just keep it beautiful. That's what we do here. That's it. We don't want to hear nothing about nothing. We're here to discuss what we're doing. That being said, nobody needs to hear that from me. But that's just that. I just wanted to welcome Nick in. He's got a nice channel, and he's funny bastard. And he happens to poke the bear at somebody that I'd like to fucking hit with a tennis racket or something. Maybe a roll of duct tape, because it wouldn't take much to. Whatever. Anyway, let's have some fun. Jimmy, I'm going to change it.
I'll let you use my pair of sap gloves that I have for special occasions. They're the leather gloves with powdered lead in them. They're very nice.
Oh, wait a second. Or we can go back to the pipe wrench. Remember when I said I seen somebody? No, you said, but you got to put the paper around it with the crescent wrench.
You got to roll it up. You got to roll it up a newspaper. Yeah. Roll it up a newspaper.
I'll write it down. Matty boy, I didn't know you were in the house, Matty. I want to change a little direction here. And you saw the thumbnail I put together today, Jimmy?
Yes.
So it had a deck of cards on it, and it had an older model gun, like a 38. It looked like maybe it wasn't a snow, whatever it was. It was just a gun. Let's just 38, whatever it was.
Yeah, but the difference is, I robbed people with cards without a gun.
Okay, but
when it came to card games, I took the money down without a gun.
You see, you got me again, but I put it there for a reason, because not everybody, we got some new people here. Not everybody knows that you were blacklisted because of your card counting abilities. Not everybody knows how great you are still to this day with cards. You're a card counter, magician, all of that. Here's where I'm going with the gun part, with the cards behind it. In my time in the life, as we say, the life, that fucking saying I hate, but anyway, guys were doing things that, they were done in years past, but I think it was becoming even more so. What I mean by that is, guys that were in the street were taking down guys that they knew games. So maybe the dice games and the card games weren't as much, nowhere near in your early years in life, or even in the mid years. What I want to ask you is this: with the cards and the gun, because I know you operated and ran many after-hour joints, and I know your thing was doing jobs in many ways. Did you ever take down any big games? Did you ever pistol up or whatever you used? Did you and any of your cohorts ever take down any games, whether they were known guys or just fucking civilians that were running the game? Or did you know of anybody that took down some games?
No, only one time I steered this group of guys to go take a game down. That it wasn't me, because if I walked in there, they would have wanted me to deal the cards or something this way. I didn't want no affiliation with the group of guys that went there to go take down the game. But all in all, 99% of the time, we had the game, because again, when I take the money down, it's like taking candy from a baby. I don't have to stick up the joint. I don't have to take out guns. My hands are like lethal weapons. This is WMD, weapons of mass destruction. When I get the cards in my hand, you're not going to win. And it looks so smooth, and it looks like I'm not even doing nothing. And I'll just beat you by one. Or how about this? I got a pair of deuces. You have a pair of deuces? Well, I got an 8 high. He says, I got an 8 high. I said, well, I got a 9 high. And then we go to the next card. I'll make it look so innocent, like the guy wouldn't know he's being bamboozled. You know, he wouldn't even know it. That's the beauty of knowing your craft so well. I can just look at the table when I'm dealing blackjack. If I see chips are high, everybody got, let's say, a good number of chips, I just knock them down like skyscrapers, as if a bomb went off and knocked those pile of chips down. And then I'll say, this is the way I always make somebody win, because when it gets late, I'll say, all right, this is last shoe. When we finish with the shoe, we hit the cut card, and it's time to shuffle. That's going to be the end of it. Because now I know they will go home. Because if you try to make somebody win, what'll happen is, in his mind, he'll say, oh, this is my night, and he'll just stay there. He won't get the message, let it click in his mind like, gee, let me pick up my winnings now and let me get out of here. No, they'll just keep staying there. So that's why I got to say last shoe. And then I'll talk to my partners and I'll say, well, how much we got in the kitty? How much in the box? He says, oh, we got 8,500. Let's say I've only been there an hour and a half or whatever. I say 8,500. Okay, I'm gonna let 1,600 go back out to make it look good. So I let 800 and 800 go to 2 different guys. I said, oh, which guys you want me to win? Make them win. This way they keep coming back. And then you had guys that would borrow money, but they wouldn't get it in money. We give it to them in chips because they'd be down so bad. So now let's say the next week they're coming, it's game time. It's game time like 9 o'clock. They come there, and then all of a sudden they say, listen, I know I owe you 1,500, but here's 1,000. I want to use the other 500 to see if I'm going to win. And then I bring him in the same cycle again. I make him lose. He borrows money with chips, and then I bang him out again. And then before the game even starts, I already got $6,000-7,000 in fees of people that owed the money. Like one guy, I got the night before Thanksgiving. I got this guy so bad he took a second mortgage on his house for like $36,000. That's how much he went for. He was an older guy, and he wouldn't get. He kept saying, "All right, give me another 1,000. Give me another 1,000." So we give it to him in chips. And bang, I just make this guy, I gave him a shellacking.
Joey.
Because I have no mercy, like, because I'm very disciplined. That's where the discipline comes in. I'm not going to feel bad or nothing. I'm a professional. I'm there to knock you out and take you down. You know, that's what I'm there for.
I just wanted to get that straight. I wanted to know what you were there for, man. You know, I love it, brother. You know it. Soak it in. Soak it up. I'm gonna go one more. And then we're gonna take anybody, folks. If we have any questions you want for Jimmy, put it in the box. We'll get him taking. He'll answer. He's the man. He'll answer just about any question. He's just never gonna speak on anybody that's alive, or possibly, you know, could be active. He'll just never talk about anybody that's alive. As anybody that doesn't know, we are a channel that does not platform cooperators. We're not here to really get into that, but that is a fact. And now let's carry on with the show.
You got, hey, Craig, you got a little red bird in the back of your head.
I wanted to show you my bird. What do you think? You like her?
yeah. This show.
Well, it's high tech, baby. We're high tech now.
You want to know anything about birds? I would always say, well, you want to take this for a swallow?
Oh man, boom. All right, I got one more. Boom. Yeah, I got one more for you, and then we're gonna take some questions because I see a lot of your people from Jersey are in the house and they're loading up. I know it. They're loading up. I see some names that I know are good with questions for you. I want to ask you about this, and I know you'll answer it in the best possible way you can. And I'll phrase it in the best possible way I can. We talked about, I pretty much thought you were going to go that way with, you guys had all the games. So I'll go at it in a different way. There were a lot of things that were not allowed. For instance, home invasions, not supposed to do them, correct? Right or wrong?
No, well, there's crews that do it.
You're right. Right.
But a lot of times we stay away from certain things. Like that's not my thing.
Right.
That's not my thing.
But it was like kind of a taboo thing, and usually you wouldn't get an okay on that. What I'm going to ask you is this, and you've been involved with it because doing scores was your thing, whether it was cards, whether it was safes, jewel, whatever scam you had. I mean, you've had them all. You've done them all. Right. What you're involved with a lot of them. If it was not something you had done personally, give us maybe something, the craziest thing you've ever heard of. If you're not involved with it, maybe one of your guys or people, one of the ballsiest things that they ever did, or you were ever involved with, where it was involved with taking something down, but it took and it all takes balls, but you know what I mean? Like the ballsiest of the balls. The biggest ball, like something crazy.
Like, remember when I used to work all over the country robbing the stores. Yeah. Remember I told you? Yeah. Okay. We did one that was like, it was a showstopper. I mean, like a real showstopper.
Tell us about
this place was like almost like a supermarket, but it was private. It's like one of these smaller supermarkets that's within the neighborhood. It had each aisle where there's cashiers, and then you have an office. An office is to the side with a regular window, and there's blinds in the window that are closed. That's the office where the manager goes. That's where the manager is. So it's not a ShopRite, or it's not a Walgreens or nothing like that. It wasn't that. It was something. It was a private place. Like the name of it, I don't even remember, but it wasn't a chain store. So we saw the guy when we came in. We were going to go on to keep the guy busy with conversation, and then my guy would always slip in the back into the office and see if the safe is open. something or whatever. It's always a crime of opportunity. But this particular day, he happened to be going to each register to get the register's take. It was near closing time. It was getting near closing time. So he's got his big paper shopping bag, and he's going to each register with the long white, piece of paper from the register from each cashier, and he's putting it all. The money is all wrapped up. He puts the wrappers on it, whether it was 1,000 or 500 or whatever, and they're all they're all stuck together. Meanwhile, they're not bills, they're not in sequence. It's used money. It's from what the store took in that day, and he's putting it in the bag. He's going to the office now. He's got the bag in his hand. What happens is I grab him and I tell him, I say, "Oh, excuse me." I said, "Hey, why-yo?" Why-yo is like a nickname you use in Italian when you want to say like, "Hey, you," or something. You say, "Why-yo? Listen, my friend." I said, "I was here before." I said, my brother, I said, he wound up drinking a Snapple in here and he wound up getting cut in his throat. He says, "No, don't tell me that." He says, "You're kidding me." I says, "No, I'm not kidding you." I says, "But wait, let me show you." So he takes the bag, he just puts it on the floor inside the office real quick and just shuts the door real gingerly. I can tell he didn't lock the door. That's all my guy had to see. That's all he had to see. So he comes down the aisle with me. He wants to chat. I said, "Look, I'll give you $100." I said, "I want to get several cases again, but I don't want to. Can we hold these up to the light? Make sure that there's no, bits of glass in there." With that, when he leaves me, the other cashiers they're looking to go home. It's just a matter of timing. Bang! My guy, he opens up the door to and just grabs the bag, and just gingerly, he was the best thief in the world. Walked right out with it. We got in the car. I think it was $36,600, something like that. It was, really, really impressive. But I would have to say that was really the icing on the cake as far as that type of a score doing, because you can't believe the excitement, the adrenaline, how it pumps in you when you're counting that money and you feel that's your money. You gotta get it out of the office because we feel that that's ours. It's being held in the office against its will, and we're going to get it. I tell you.
All right, folks, we're going to do a little. That's our money against his will. We're going to do a little. Go to some questions for Jimmy. Now, Jimmy, I was just sent a beautiful picture, but I won't be able to upload it in time. First of all, can everybody hear me? I want to make sure I'm loud and clear. Can you hear me, Jim?
Yes.
Yes. I'll show it. Huh? Can you hear me, Jimbo?
Yes.
Yeah, I think some people are having a problem with hearing me. Can I get a thumbs up, make sure we're good? I want to make sure everybody's got this mic right. Yeah. All right. Joe Town Jack says we're good. All right. All right, Jimmy. TT Rad, who's asked you many questions and you've had the answers for her. She just sent me a picture. It's going to take me a second or two to get it up on the screen so I can show it. But I'm going to tell you who it is, and then I'm going to try to get it up in time so you can see it. Because if I hold it up to the monitor, the glare will destroy it, and you won't be able to see it. But because TT, I'm not sure I can download it up and fast enough. I'm an amateur. Yeah, the glare is not good. Yeah, it's terrible. I don't even want to say who it is. I want him to see it. Give me a second. We'll keep going. Anybody got questions for Jimmy? Put it in a box. I'll read it to him. Jim, this is the time where you might have to sing a little Elvis while I upload this.
No, we don't want to hit the people with
No,
too
that's
much.
extra. Of course, the extra. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, we don't want to hit them with too much.
Yeah, that's a lot. That would be an overkill. You're right. All right. I'm trying to get this up to freaking StreamYard in time so everybody can see this beautiful picture of Joe God, who is TT Rad, our Uncle Angelo. And I know you know these people. Oh, she put up, thank you, TT. TT, I'm going to have to download it and then upload it. So it'll be in, I will put it in an intro for when Jimmy comes on. So he'll be able to see it. But Jimmy, we spoke on, this is TT Rad, you know TT. Joe God, her Uncle Angelo. Can you speak on them a little bit for those that haven't heard? You know who they are from Jersey?
Oh yeah. Well, Joe Gard lived on Magnolia Street when I grew up. So did I. And he lived next to my uncle, my father's brother, Joe also. Joe, they called him Pups, like puppy dog. They called him Pups. And he was only a few houses away from my Uncle Pups. And then down the street was my father's mother and father, which were my grandparents. They were further down Magnolia Street. But Joe Gard, and I tell you, right next to his house was a guy called Jack Carroll. That's what his name was, Jack Carroll. But that's really not his last name. He's Italian. I forget his last name. But he was famous in Belleville because in 1957, he sang throughout the movie. The movie was with Barbara Stanwyck called 40 Guns. And it was a Western, black and white Western. And he plays a lot of parts in it. He was on his way to become a real big star. And then what happened was he had to be on strike because he was trying to get rid of his manager. So he couldn't sing no more for like a year or something. With that, he wound up being blackballed. But he was a real talented, another guy from Magnolia Street also, Jack Carroll. The movie 40 Guns, if you were to look it up or do it on your phone, do it on YouTube, you'll see he sings the lead song, and he sings when the lady loses her husband when he's shot dead. It's Gene Barry, the actor. He gets shot dead. He sings for the at the funeral. She's all dressed in black. And what do you see how this guy was a great singer, very great, real good singer. But anyway, Joe Gard, he was like I told this before, but he was real tight with Cabert. Cabert, yeah, that was his friend. They were friends, but Joe Gard really wasn't involved with doing things, being any kind of mischief. That really wasn't his thing.
But
Cabert just made sure. Yes, Cabert just made sure that he had a good job. He had a good job down in Budweiser in Newark, which is right across on Route 109. It's right across from Newark Airport, the Budweiser beer plant. And he had a job there forever. He just all he had to do was grab one of them sticks with the pointer, and he just had to go around the ground and just pick up a piece of paper and put it in his bucket. But he just, the art was to look like he was busy, but otherwise he wasn't busy all day. And he did that. This is 1989, I remember. He did that all the time to help Renee, his daughter, because she just got married, but he wanted to help her financially. I could think they were trying to get a house. I think she was trying to get a house. So whatever he made, he gave half of his salary to his daughter, Renee. Really nice guy. Really nice guy.
Thank you, TT. That's always you and Jimmy have and Terry. I got a couple of questions for you. One is from our friend Roy from Ireland. Roy wants to know, I'll read it to you. Roy wants to know, did you ever have any dealings or meet Tony Bennett? Or if you didn't, do you know anybody that dealt with him?
Oh, no, I sat with him. We had dinner. Hold your thought on Tony Bennett. There's a friend that wrote something, Gerard.
Yeah.
Gerard's my dear friend, and I'm glad to hear his sons are doing real good in football. They were real talented kids. God bless them. And I'm glad to see it. Thanks, Gerard. Thanks for letting me know that, because
Yeah,
I
that's awesome,
like to see
Gerard.
the
Thank you
kids
for
do
coming in.
good. And Gerard's my friend. So,
Awesome.
he stumbled on us by accident, Craig, and now he's going to
Wow,
be.
that's
He told me
great.
he was going to subscribe and all that.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you so much.
but
Thank you for joining the family. And that's
yes,
awesome. Small world, right?
Getting back to Tony Bennett before I forget.
Yeah, good.
I'd be at Nanny Il Valetto on. It was the best Italian restaurant at the time, on East 61st between Lexington and Park Avenue. And the three times that I met Tony Bennett, I was right inside Sparks. I was having dinner also. Each time I saw him, he was with a different young lady having dinner. And he loved my card tricks. He loved when I would entertain him. He would go crazy over it. He'd say, "Hey kid, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful." He would say. So that was my poor imitation of Tony Bennett.
No,
by the way.
I appreciate it. I thought it was pretty good. We got Matty Boy wants to know, Jimmy, can you share? Let me get it right. Jimmy, can you share any more of your? Because I know you're a humble guy. You don't like to let everybody know that you were so well versed in your athletics as well. So Matty Boy wants to know, would you be willing to share a little bit more about your football exploits? You already told us you had a cannon, a big arm.
Yeah, I was my arm. Well, the thing was, it's something that's taught and not just born with. I used to have my father would take me to the park, and I'd have a pillow, and I'd kneel on the pillow, and I would just throw the ball just with my arm, without using my legs or any kind of body English, just to make my arm to be like a cannon. And I would throw that ball like 30, 40 yards on an inside, like a square in, a square out. I hit that chest. I hit the guy's chest so hard. They would say, the coach would say, "Slow down with that ball." They didn't want me to throw it that hard, but that's how strong my arm was. And at the time, I was trying to get into several schools. I was being looked at the time, believe it or not, by Yale University.
Yeah,
because I went to high school, Belleville High, but I also had to go to a postgraduate prep school when I left Belleville High. When I graduated, I had to go for an additional year it boosts up your marks, so it makes you easier to be accepted. So they see that you made the effort to try to get your marks. So in other words, I went to a postgraduate prep. It was only a 1-year prep. It was Milford Academy, which was in Milford, Connecticut, and they were affiliated with the Choate prep schools, which were highly elite in the New England areas, in the New England. So what happened was the head coach of Yale, Carmen Caza, the assistant head coach was Buddy Amendola. They loved me. They wanted me to come there, and I wanted to go there because had I not made it ultimately with sports, or if I never got drafted for any pro team, at least if I had a diploma from Yale, I could write my own ticket in the world of finance, in the world of working as a job, job market. Because if me and you go for the same job, and you have a city college diploma, and I have one from Yale, who are they going to take? They're going to take the guy from Yale,
Absolutely.
So that was it. And what happened, I didn't get a chance to go there because I wound up I was accepted there, believe it or not. I was accepted, but I couldn't go because the finances, it was $3,800 a semester. And my father was in Atlanta at the time. He was away with Carmine Persico. He was in Atlanta, and I didn't have the money to go there. Just didn't have it. So for 2 years, I went to UConn. I was a Husky, Went to UConn for 2 years. I majored in psychology, minored in economics, and I went there for 2 years. But then left before the 2 years expired because I was into acting. I did a lot of parts in movies, TV shows, and stuff, and I thought that was going to be my ticket.
Right.
So I tried that for a while. That was that.
Work out? How'd that work out? We'll get into that another time. And I know you did a lot with the.
Yeah. Well, I was on Beretta twice with Robert Blake. I played a hijacker on one of the shows. Then I was a 3-card Monte guy on the street. I'm dealing with 3 cards, and then Robert Blake would come up to me. Beretta would come up to me and say, "Listen, kid, I want to know who robbed the pool room the other night." And I said, "I don't know, Beretta." You know, he said, "Well, otherwise I'll bust you for this game that you're doing." All right. Check out the guy down the street. You know, that kind of corny stuff. You know, I would have to give up the guy because I didn't want to get busted with my 3-card Monte. You know,
absolutely, and being in the city, forget it. That was the biggest hustle. And as a little kid, I used to watch them do it, and I'd be like, I know I can get that, but I was always taught you can't win. So, and I would watch them do it, and I still couldn't fucking. If I would have, because I knew the game. The one guy
they got it down. They got it down to a science. Even if you pick the right card, as he's handing money, he won't let the money go. He'll say, "All right, double or nothing." You know what I mean? Like it's all a scam. You know?
Yeah. I got one for you. I'm trying to see if there's any more for you, and then I have a question for you, and then I know what time it is for you, bud. So
oh, excuse me, Craig. I want to just tell my friend Gerard, if he's still watching, I wanted to ask him. I wanted to ask him how's Sarah, how's his wife doing, and naturally the boys. I'm so glad to hear about the boys once more, and I guess now we can move on.
All right, Jimmy, this question's for you, but I was representing one of the labor unions as an organizer, and I knew somebody that I used to deal with. But this question's for you, so I'm sure I'm going to say a name when you're done. Jimmy, did you know anybody back in the day from Local 7, Marble Terrazza Tile?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Mason Union is who I knew.
Yeah.
Danny Guerrera was the guy. I think it was called, I think it wasn't 7, the one, but I think it was Local 3, number 3.
Yeah. I knew Blaze. I forget what Blaze's last name was, but he was a big union official with them, and I used to sometimes speak with him.
Yeah, I was tight with Danny, and we would work together if we had a fixed labor. If a guy didn't want to go 100% with union Mason guys, he would work it out. I would work out the labor for the guy. So there was always a payday. I couldn't wait to wake up every day at 5:30 in the morning. I couldn't wait.
Freaking pissing me, yeah, right. It's pissing me off. I can't think of Blaze's last name, because I have friends that are with the tile setters. But when I was with the laborers organizing, I had some lunches with Blaze. But it was a good guy. Those guys do very well. They make a really good living. Nick says from the Nick Romano show. Nicky says, Jimmy, do you know Frank Minucci, who was the actor in Carlito's Way? He played. I think he just passed away. I could be wrong. I think
the guy isn't Frank Minucci. I think his name is Salvato. I think his name was Salvato, the big heavy guy. He passed away. Yeah, the guy that was real chubby in Carlito's Way.
I think he's talking about the guy. I think Nicky's talking about is Nicky. Was he like the only made guy that was onto Carlito in the movie Al Pacino, and he was the only Italian guy, like he represented the wise guys? Is that the guy? Tony Tagliucci. Oh, he's the one that played Tony Tagliucci. He was.
Oh no, I know who that guy is. Yeah, I know who that guy is.
Yeah. Yeah, he became a pastor later.
He used to be with the Campeses, with
Yeah,
Nene, because he told me that himself when I saw him in Newark Airport one day. Frank Minucci, yeah, that's him. He's not the guy. The guy that passed away also was the chubby guy that was in the
yeah,
movie Chasing Al Pacino. He
absolutely.
died also, the big heavy guy. But this
Yep.
guy was just died. Frank
I know who
Minucci,
you're
yeah.
talking about. Yeah, excellent. Good question, Nick. That's
Yeah, his
great.
name
I
was,
mean,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
his last name was Salvato. He's from Newark. He's from
I
Newark.
remember, I remember seeing a special on him years and years ago, and he was with the boys, and he was actually talking about, sometimes, I had no choice, I wrap them up in a chain, I take them for a little ride, drag them 30, 40 yards. You
Who's
know,
this? Frank Minucci?
yeah, eventually they found their
Yeah,
pockets.
no, yeah.
I
He
had to take them
said
for a
that.
drink, some shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He said, listen to me. You know what? I think he was really stretching this truth because he
All
said,
right, all
he
right.
goes, oh, he
HBO,
goes,
yeah,
I
he took
was
them for
known.
a drink. Yeah,
I
he
know
tied
what
them
you're
up.
talking about. I know what you're talking about. He said, I was known for this. I would tie guys up with a chain and drag them in the car in the street. Come on, you don't do
No,
that because anybody in the world is going to say, hey, call the cop. There's a guy
who's
dragging
dragging that
somebody.
fucking guy?
Come on. And that's when I asked him. I said, well, who are you? Who are you friends with? He says, do you know? Nah, nah, nah. It's not nah, nah. It was Nene. He wound up dying though 20 years ago. But Nene Campese was the father of some of the Campese. See, they were like a crime family within a crime family because there was so many of them
So many.
related. Yeah, they were a force to be reckoned with. And
Yeah,
that's
in
who he
today's
said
world.
that he was friendly with. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right, we got one from your buddy Gerard. Gerard's got something for you. Can you read that?
Yeah.
Good, that was good stuff, man.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy. The kid was so talented. Well, but the
Yeah,
coaches weren't giving him a shot, to really play. And Gerard and I would always talk about it. We were like really like upset that this kid is being wasted. So that's why he went to another school. I believe that's what he was telling me. So by going to another school, it was giving him the chance, to start and to play more, to get more playing time.
yeah.
Otherwise, the kid was like, what you see is his white socks going up and down the field to each goal line. Come on, they couldn't touch him.
Jimmy, I got
How'd I
one.
do?
I got one
How'd I
last
do,
good
Gerard?
one.
I do all right?
Yeah, Gerard's impressed. Gerard, Gerard. First of all, again, I want to say I'm glad you found us, buddy, and I'm glad you found your old pal here. That means a lot. TT Rad, thank you for that compliment. Nick, thank you for being here. But let me just, if you Baywatch, I miss you, bud. Where you been, pal? Let me ask you this, Jimmy. He's long gone. I'm sure you'll say what's on your mind if you want. Any opinion on how Roy the Mayo was viewed on the street? You have an opinion?
Roy was like he was a
Serial killer?
renegade. Even though he was straightened out, he was a renegade because he took doing a piece of work to extremes. In other words, he was it was like a sickness almost because like he'd be downstairs eating in the Gemini Lounge, and then upstairs they got the guy's throat cut hanging upside down in the shower until all the blood drained out of him, so it wouldn't be messy when they start
Yeah,
chopping
no,
him up.
yeah.
I mean, but then to be that proficient at it, but nobody really favored him that much. He wasn't held in high regard because he was made when he was in line and did the right thing. But then after the power went to his head, he used that to make any excuse why he would have to get rid of somebody, even if it wasn't warranted.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people. Again, he was before my time, but
this is why he had to go.
yeah, no doubt. And, you know, you got to really consider, and even you could put gas pipe into that fucking category too. These guys were
Oh,
killing
yeah.
everybody and anybody. I mean, they were putting fucking rat wires on people that weren't stool pigeons. They were just making shit up just because of paranoia and killing people. Now, I would say I'm not a fucking historian, but just from what I have seen, not researched, Roy was even killing fucking women. Like he was killing like even, you know, people not in the life. He was just fucking killing everybody. Whereas gas pipe, yeah, he was out of control, but he was just killing everybody in the life, but just putting rat wires on them, just lying on people. You know, like I said, you know, he was paranoid, so everybody had to go. Everybody had to go. I mean, again, that's a little before my time, but I would say, you know, maybe I'm wrong for that comparison, but I mean, was he too far from Roy as far as killing everybody? Gas pipe, kind of the same, no?
No, they were kind of, in a way, kind of the same, but Roy was more.
Another level. No, I get it.
He was more grimy about it. Like it was just like gas pipe always had a good reason, but again, when a guy takes enjoyment too much in a piece of work is only done for the boss, and something that you've got to do. It's not nothing that you're looking forward to do or nothing. It's something that you have to do. And when it's done, you do it, but you do it, you know, expeditiously, quick, get it over with, and that's it. You don't because you don't forget he had the kid Chris work for him. He was Jewish. The kid was Jewish, and yet he gave himself an Italian last name. The kid Chris, I remember, that was with him. Yeah. He had a mustache, and he was I can't remember his name, but I know he was really Jewish, and yet Roy has him doing the ultimate, you know, piece of work with him. You don't do that. You're not supposed to share the stage with somebody other than another guy that took the oath also. You're not supposed to do that.
Last one comes from Bass, Jimmy. Well put. Yeah, I get what Baywatch is saying because his own people. I mean, Brooklyn guys. I'm not a Brooklyn guy, but the few that I did know from Brooklyn, again, not my era, but the stories I had heard. Forget the fact of what it turned out in the end, what he was doing, playing both sides, which some would say immediately that makes him fucking worse. But he was kind of, you know, supposedly they said he had many. He killed 2 innocent women, I believe. I think there was some women he killed too. He was looking to kill everybody. He was another. I mean, he didn't have that nickname for no reason, you know. So I think he might have enjoyed what he did too. I could be wrong, you know, but that's a good question.
Of course.
I mean, but I also was told nobody called him Grim Reaper to his face. I don't know, but whatever. Fucking.
Oh, you're talking about Greg Scarpa.
Greg Scarpa, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, do I owe you anything extra for tonight? We ran about a few minutes late. Do I got anything I got to come up with?
No, I got to dock you one piece of Gallimard.
All right, you got it. I want to thank you, my man, for another lovely evening. And I'm glad you were able to answer some questions. All right. Oh, wait. We got one. We'll sneak one in at the end here. Let's see. I heard Frankie DeChico raised hell. Maybe you could answer it. Maybe you can't, Jimmy. I'm not sure. You know. You ever deal with Frankie? You ever hear any stories about Frankie? He's gone, obviously.
No, Frankie's where Frankie's crew was, it wasn't. We never had interworkings together.
Gotcha.
We never worked together. And my guy always told me, whenever you're around the other guys from New York, when we're out there, we would go out there and shape up once a week. He would say, never say nothing about what you're doing or how things are going, because one day a guy could be your friend, the next day he could become your boss, and then he knows what you're doing, and then he expects heavier envelopes. So you got to be careful. You don't want to say too much, because these guys got memories like 10 elephants. Forget it.
That's, and you're gonna go now, but that's why I said some of the early lessons I learned were: don't interject, don't be a fucking know-it-all, don't be a hero. You can do this, you can do that, because you'll see how quick. Oh yeah, you're the hero. You can do this, you can do that. Yeah, I got something for you to do. So shut your mouth and speak when spoken to. Right, my brother?
That's right.
Well, let me tell you something. MRM, my friend. MRM.
That's right. Man recognize man. Man recognize man. That's how it goes.
All right, my brother. I love you. You have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day. I believe it's this Sunday. Is it? I don't even know.
Yes, it's this Sunday. Happy Father's Day, Craig.
Hey, you too, my brother. And we will definitely speak. And I got to get you out of here because we're running about 6 minutes late. So that's about 3,000. So I got to go. All right. I got to get you out of here. I love
Craig,
you.
I love you. Say hello to Catherine and Antonio and the boys. And I'll see you later.
All right, my brother. Thank you. Another good show. Thank you, my man.
Bye.
All right, guys. What is happening? How's the crew? Everybody good? I'm glad everybody's good. I hope everybody enjoyed tonight. If there's anything, if there's something you guys want to ask me, shoot. If not, you know me. I got no problem. We played some music the other night. It didn't last too long. YouTube's not in love with me. That's okay. I'm not in love with them. Yeah, Jimmy, there's no question, talk about a guy, been there, done that, special. Jimmy's gone, but Jimmy's from Belleville, New Jersey. Thank you, TT. TT, I will get that picture up. You got my word. I will. I'm just so bad with like multitasking with this crap to StreamYard, edit. It just takes. Where am I from, Nikki? Nick, I'm from Flushing, Queens. Raised my children in Whitestone, Queens, but spent about 15 years in the Bronx. Gabish? But Nick, I know you're a Staten Island guy. I have family. Richmond Avenue, right? And I'm not very well versed with Staten Island. We had a little business on Bay Street right over the bridge, but I have some family over on Richmond Avenue. It was called Vassar Street. I remember Vassar Street, right? It wasn't far from the mall. And I wasn't in Staten Island often. I loved the borough, great food. It's just from Queens. It was it's a hike. But yeah, I used to enjoy spending summer nights with my cousins and barbecuing in Staten Island, Richmond Avenue. So yeah, I knew a little bit about Staten Island, but I'm a Queens guy, whatever that means. But lived in the Bronx for about 13, 14 years, something like that. But that's it, bro. Nick, I wish you the best with your show, man. I really do. It was fun. Keep the humor going. Don't get roped into the BS like I hear you saying. Don't do it. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I just don't have I learned, the hard way. And we're not going to go into it, but, fortunately, I have no problem with it. I don't believe in fence sitting. So just right out the gate, I'm okay with saying, guys make their own decisions. They do what they got to do. I'm just not going to put guys that put people in harm's way and destroyed families because of whatever their shortcomings were. Seemed so for people, that don't understand that, it's possible maybe you never had anybody told on, or because it seems like the movement on YouTube seems to be a movement of one where it's that seems to be the popular thing now. Hey, let's get all the cooperators together and let's all be buddies. That's fine. You can be buddies. I'm 57. I got enough. I got you guys and got enough friends in my life. I'm not taking applications at this point in my life. But that's just my thought on that. But you guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight. I would love to play some music for us. It's a Friday night, but I know it's going to last about 2 seconds and they're going to shut me down again. But I promise I am going to figure out a way, Baywatcher, and everybody that's listening, I am going to figure out a way to somehow, some way have like a disco party on the way out the door before they throw me out. That being said, I don't know if there is a night I can ever go by without wishing one of my dear friends on YouTube, a content creator who's known as Bob the Builder by somebody it's pretty hysterical. And he advised, I'm sure you've heard it, it's a daily rant for me. I'm the baseball coach. I should be a baseball coach, according to him. Hi, Terry. I'm not going to go on a rant. I'm going to smile and make sure everybody, Nick, I hope you enjoyed it. Nick, he told me I should be a baseball coach. What he didn't know, Nick, is that I played actually a lot of tournament softball all over the country. Whoever's watching will know that, just like whoever's watching, that I've said whatever I've had to say about it in the street. Nobody's been able to say he's full of shit, because it's not. So I only speak the truth. What I'm saying is this. I was I could hit. So if we take a softball, right? The softball's only this big. You could blindfold me. I'll hit fucking 800 off of his head with the size of his head. And I just saw something I didn't even know that was on YouTube. He actually had a boxing match. Oh my God, what I saw. I got a friend, Shirley, that will give him a beating. Yeah, Shirley. I said it right. Yeah, Shirley. Anyway. Nikki, you be well, baby. We'll go, give me a holler. We'll do something. But let's just have fun. I come in peace, but I want peace. I want nothing but peace. But you can leave in pieces. We're all good. Let's have a great weekend. Be safe. I know you're going to dig this song on the way out the door. We'll change it up. Because I like to push the envelope. I want to give you guys music, man. So, if there's something you guys want to rap about, we can do that for a little bit. Otherwise, I don't want to hold nobody up. You know what I mean? I don't, if you guys want to rap, we rap. Otherwise, we call it a rap. But, Nick, it's a pleasure to have you here. Timmy, I didn't get a chance to say, Timmy Irish, what's happening, my brother? And whoever I missed, I apologize. Love all you guys for coming in. To everybody. Okay, the whole crew, the whole chat crew. We got a special crew. No disrespect, no bullshit in here. And come on, Roscoe, awesome, Davey T, Nick, everybody, nothing but love. Terry, Baywatcher, always. OG Mike, thank you for coming in. TT Rad, Ruby Almighty, Roy, what's happening, my brother? TT Rad, come on, number love. Sally Boy, Sally, good to see you, my boy. Oh, Gerard, pleasure, thank you for finding the show. Roy, again, Baywatch. Bobby Nine, always. Maddie Boy, Nikki, Christopher D, thank you so much. I know, guys, I just like to say goodnight to everybody. I don't want everybody to feel like I'm leaving them out. Hell no. I don't care how long it takes. Sorry. OG Ruby, we got to talk, OG Ruby. My man, Roy Munson from Ireland. Ghost, what's up, Ghost? I know you're probably gone, but if you look back at the video, you'll never be able to say it and shout you out, my brother. Joe Town Jack, my man. Barbara. Sorry, Barbara. How are you, Barbara? Larry. Larry, you said it looks like I got a tan? Yeah? Well, I guess just from walking around and pacing, my nerves, you know? But thank you. If you know what it is, Larry, the hairline is so receded, so it just looks better. But I'll take it as a compliment, Larry. Thank you, brother. That being said, you should see my baby pictures, Larry. I'm only fucking around. You guys have absolutely. Dustin, be well. Everybody be well. I hope I didn't miss nobody. If I did, I don't mean it. But on the way out, check this out. Let's see if we get through it. Here we go. Little rhythm to pump it up.